Some bones.
Terry, put the wire in the mic goes on.
Oh,
Killing me, Oops.
bruv. Bruv. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
First, I want to know where that
idea.
wire was plugged. How far up was that wire
oh no.
to put it in the microphone?
Can we play this again? Can you run it back?
Oh no.
Let's go. They've been waiting. People have been waiting.
Can you hear me, guys?
We can hear you also.
Yeah, so so we're for the Boys podcast. So this podcast is created for anyone really, as a safe place to share their stories. I guess the battle that comes with mental health, and there's a lot of struggles that come with mental health, and it's not just one particular area. So we try to make this platform as safe as possible, so everyone can jump on board. I'm Teza.
I'm Soaking a second.
Mafuso.
Whether watching our live stream this late at night or listening through our audio podcast, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a heck of a show.
Well, that's going to be a heck of a show. Also, we are not professionals. Here's a quick disclaimer. Not professionals, just three dudes with a passion for making this generation a little bit better. So we're just running off our past experiences in life and being able to share those experiences in the hopes that somebody else out there can correct what they've what's not going right, or So
that's it.
I think that's what it really is, because it's a little bit hard.
Like we're not all we have to offer is experience, and
yo.
If someone hears that what we've been through, they're going through right now, and see how we tackled it, how we came out of it.
Yeah. And we are ordinary dudes. We are ordinary dudes. We're not anything special.
Three ordinary fellas, and we try and give
plug the microphone in there.
And all the gears, but don't connect it properly. But it's like Muffy said, it's our experiences. We share our experience in the hope that it does help someone out there, and if it doesn't, let us know, because every week we try and.
No.
Wait. Can I just
try it?
This guy here. Just watch out for this fella here. Just watch out for this fella. So we got for the people that have that are tuning into our podcast, we've got Alexa Gaming.
Shout out to Alexa. He was one of our guests, one of our first guests last season.
And we'll run it back. We'll definitely run it back, because we heard some ghost in the background when he was there. So I'm screaming in the background.
Shout out to Brad. Let's go.
But okay. Before we get the show started, my daughter's like screaming in the background.
Yes, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Soraya.
Happy second birthday.
Yeah.
So
go sleep now, eh? Go sleep.
Oh yeah. It's my birthday. Step till midnight.
Before we start, sorry, with our guest, we want to apologise to everyone that had I guess tuned in at 8 p.m. tonight, due to so many difficulties. We had to postpone it. At the same time, if you did join in at 9:30 p.m. If you did join in at 9:30 p.m., sorry, we had to just postpone it, because not my audio, it was the guest audio. So these guests that join in there, trying to look after these fellas.
Moving forward.
Moving forward, we've got some of the greats in the game, some of the great in the Auckland the scene. We've got and moving forward to in a few weeks, we've got an event coming up. So before that event comes, we'll drop it towards the end of the show. We've got two of the greats in Auckland. Two of the greats. So we've got MCT Raw and we've got DJ J Beats. We'd like to welcome the boys on the show.
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Ooh. We usually have sound effects, but
Yeah, it's the crowd.
it's just it's the same as my audio not coming. But welcome, brothers. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the episode.
Boys.
Welcome to this is episode 8, season 2, and brothers, thank you guys for jumping on board and I guess giving up your time. You could be out doing whatever you need to do instead of jumping on and waiting for our audio to get fixed. But J Beats, brother, T Raw, thank you guys. How are you guys' day been? Hopefully this is not as serious because we like to have a laugh on the show. How you guys going?
Good, I guess.
No, good.
Is that it? Now, brother. Okay, so if you want to get into it, you guys don't need an introduction to, I guess, us, but for the viewers that are out there, we'll start with you, J Beats. Just a short introduction, and then we'll move on to MCT Raw. Let's get out.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John, aka DJ J Beats. I'm part of the Outcast Entertainment Group. That's pretty much me.
Sweet. What's up, guys? Well, everybody should know me, but I got one name of Tino. Well, my stage name is MCT Raw. And just like John says, we're part of Outcast Entertainment, and we're here to show some love on the boys' podcast. So, shout out to all the top 3 here for inviting us. So it'll be a good show.
Shop boys.
Just a message from the chat. And again, if you guys got questions for our guests or for us,
yes.
If we sound stupid, let us know. Most of the time, I don't sound stupid, but for J Beats, I think you have to go and do some dishes. We'll run the show.
Can we just mute her messages? Can admin mute her messages, please?
Don't worry, also got your back.
Shop boys, man. I guess like hitting off the show. I guess for everyone that is tuning in, how did you guys get involved in for yourself, J Beats, DJing, and for T Raw, MCing? Because I guess there's kind of like there's a grind to it because you didn't just start off being a professional straight away. You didn't just grab the tape recorder and press play and record yourself in the background.
Can I tell the story?
Okay, then we'll just start off with.
Feel free to jump in.
Pretty much knows.
Let them tell their stories. Let them tell their stories, because if I tell it, it'll be the bad version.
Naughty man. But we'll start off with J Beats or T Raw, whoever wants to go first. Bro, how did you guys start?
I'll go first then. So I grew up in Papakura, which is I lived probably 5 minutes away from Muffy's house. And when we linked up, I was the guy that carried his speakers or went to his gigs or wherever he was playing, you'd probably be sure that I was there. And that was for a couple of years, for a lot of years actually. This was when Mike was back at the Duo days on K Road. And then probably 4 years ago for my birthday, my wife and Muffy were messaging and she bought me a controller. And that's kind of how I got started. I never really had any aspirations to become a DJ. I was just following Muffy, really, just being his sidekick. So when my wife bought me the controller, Muffy told me, "Oh, you got to get your own music. You got to teach yourself, learn." You know, he didn't kind of give me any handouts. He made me do the hard work by myself, which I'm grateful for. So yeah, I just had to get some music, get the software, play at home till I was confident, and then carried on from there.
Oh, Charles, how did your name come about? Was
So
Jay.
Jay was from my first name, but so I went to a church called Pepkora Efakasa. Not sure if anybody knows a guy by the name DJ Montana. He was a beat producer for Dawn Raid. I'm not sure if he still is, but at the time, himself and two other dudes at our church, we were just still making beats, just kind of mucking around, and that's how I got the name J Beats. And it was just purely from, we were just making beats at the time.
Making some fire beats, eh? Oh, shout out
Yeah.
to the sun.
Oh,
There
oh,
you young fella there.
Hi, Joel.
What's up, bro?
Hey, shut man.
Oh, nice. We'll move on to T Raw and on how he began his career as one of, or not
As an MC
one of the
and
best
a journey.
MC in
Be
the
honest.
and
Be honest.
Yeah.
Dreading this,
how,
this
how did you find this guy over here?
Oh, how long has it been now? It's been a while now. So
Too long.
yeah, it's been too long. I guess let's take it back. Make sure 12, 13, 14 years now. But I guess I started like just the same way John had explained. We were these young fellas that were hooked on this DJ and sort of much carried his gear into the clubs, and obviously there was an access for us to get free entry into the club instead of, you know, standing outside the club and trying to call his DJ name to get us in. And but at the time before I knew Muffy, that obviously on the gridiron field, I sort of knew, like I said, I knew Muffy on the gridiron field, but I didn't know he was sort of a DJ. And so before I started playing, one night we went out with my sisters and her partner. I think it was work due out at the club on High Street called Lounge, and pretty much yeah. So I sort of stood in line and walked up the flight of stairs, and I saw this guy, all that had a denim jacket, had a cap on, and I thought he was a part of a security guy, but he was just not
Was he? Did he have big muscles? Did he have big muscles when you saw him?
Nah. This guy was, he had a cap on. It's like I thought it was just another, sort of like another patron like me that's coming in to have a good time. But he was sitting there looking face to face from the door, and he was greeting people in. He said, had a good time, and I remember, I think it's I forgot the name of the DJ now, Bozy. At that time he was playing, and I think we were dancing underneath the, on the dance floor underneath the DJ booth, and I can remember the song "Get Low."
Oh no!
By Lil Jon and that, and it was playing, and I could hear this guy on the mic. Yeah, and I could hear this voice, and I thought, oh man, this guy's a bit of a, knows what he's doing, because he was hyping me up, and then as I looked at the door, this guy at the same.
Oh, it's frozen.
You guys saw standing there.
Wait.
But man, the guy's pretty gangster. So I went up to him and said, "Oh, what's your name and whatnot?" And shout out to MC Boss X, because he was the one that sort of gave me that drive and gave me that. Well, if he can do it, I can do it too. So I once sort of went out with Muffy one Saturday night, and I asked him, "Oh, how come you don't have an MC?" Just like that guy is, I mentioned to him, I saw this guy at lounge, and Muffy knew who he was. And he just said, "Oh, he normally does my nights when we're at A-Way. He sometimes does. He sort of does his nights down at Devo." And he, at the time Muffy was playing at Duo, he just opened up this bag. He gave me the mic, and then he just handed it to me. He goes, "Yeah, have a go." And at that time, I was still fresh. Didn't know. I couldn't figure out what to say, and I was a bit shy, and all I could remember, my friend was, "Oh, just say something." And then, if you know Lil John, he does that, yeah. And then I did it, and then Muffy looked at me, "Oh, man, that sounds like a Lil John."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah."
before
and then,
before we move on, what was your your first word you said at the mic? What was it? What was it?
Yeah.
4 words.
Yeah,
What did you say? Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. It was, I was sort of mimicking what I heard from obviously Boss X, and trying and sort of copy him at that time, but it still sounded funny. So years has gone by, and I've been studying and been trying my best until we went back to first time I went to sort of Devo, and that's when I met and saw MC Rome's, who Big Rome's is, and that's sort of those two are sort of shined and showed me the light of how to do it, how to entertain the crowd, and how to pick up and hype them up. And so those are the two sort of icons, New Zealand icons, as an MC that I looked up to. And I guess the rest was history. I've been tagged along with.
Now you got the best in the game here.
Yeah. So
and when we say best in the game, Tino's worked with not only just with me and some other DJs, but he's worked with like New Zealand's best, like Reminisce and them. He's done what's his name, Zola? YG's concert. He's hyped up a few Tigers, so it's
because there is an art there is an art to emceeing, because it's not just getting on the mic. Because you've done it for 13 to 14 years of emceeing, and along the way you've, I guess, gathered all this experience. For I guess people out there that want to become, I guess, people they want to do what you're doing, right? How did you learn more? Is it more about getting involved in the scene, like nightlife, approaching people, or getting to know like some of the best DJs like J Beats and Muffy Uso and Teza? Getting to know some of the best in the game, and then you apply yourself to the nightlife, or is it not even a part of the nightlife? You just need to get involved.
I think Terry, I think the easiest way to explain that would be like you got like MCs like in general, and then you have like different types of MCs for different types of hype. So like you might have an MC who spits rap and lyrics and is poetic with all this stuff and can just rap for ages. But then there's like the club MC. This guy doesn't rap. He doesn't Tino's job is it's like hype man. He's like a hype MC. So he just keeps the crowd excited. He keeps them moving. He's always, I think he just makes that live. You gotta hear this guy. You gotta hear him, mate. It's not like your uncle at your cousin's 21st emceeing, There's something different. There's something different.
He's better
You
than
gotta
your
bring-
uncle at a 21st day. He's,
We're gay.
You gotta-
yeah,
They
to
are
your own,
not,
bro.
they are
Yeah,
not.
like with all the experience, did you at some point say, "Hey, fuck, is this should I take this?" Or were you determined from the get go? I'm going to follow the likes of some of the best in New Zealand, MC Prozacs or
Yeah,
um,
full section. Yeah, big rooms.
and
Um,
Rooms.
Yeah, I never really thought as in the long term that this would be one of my hobbies. You know, this would be something that I'm into. You know, I thought I was just this young Polynesian kid that was fresh from the islands, fresh coming from America. Touching down, playing gridiron, and it was just all about going out the nightlife because obviously, not knowing Muffy that used to sort of play at these certain clubs, I wouldn't be going out. I would have been just playing, on and off the field and coming home and rest but it's because that nightlife that I was eager to just keep going out because obviously I knew a friend, like obviously Muffy that was playing at Duo. I was just keen to sort of go out, but not keen to sort of do what I'm doing now. I've only picked it up ever since, like I said, I was at Duo, and then obviously we passed down and going through Devo and doing a little hype, but it was only between just me and Muffy. I was always hyping him up because obviously I didn't know a lot of the DJs at the time. I only met through the likes of Mafioso and Shaw's DJ Quest, and not until I sort of really touched down at a club out south in Mangere called Toby's. We were sort of pictured underneath Yo-Yo Entertainment at the time, and then that's when I sort of
Masanga and
yeah.
the crew.
Shout out to Mr. Yo-Yo, he and that's when I sort of took along and found out, well, this is what I'm gonna do, doing the nightlife because it was something that I sort of enjoyed doing and sort of getting exposure, I guess, and just hanging out with the boys, I guess. And at the time, when Yo-Yo was running, like I said, shout out, DJ Quest and Donnie at the time was there, and I sort of latched onto Donnie under his wing, and yeah, went from then on. And then I guess we'll get the call up every now and then to sort of jam airway on Thursdays with Muffy, and then sometimes back and forth into town. But town wasn't really sort of an MC kind of ways. I was just normally just jamming alongside him because we were living in the same area at the time when I was living in Tekanini. So yeah, so it didn't really kick off until I sort of started at Toby's, and from then on, right through the south, and then back to the city, and I am who I am now. So yeah.
Nice, man. Also, before we move on, this is just probably like maybe only two of how many in the Outcast team? There's quite a few, but we only got time for the boys made time available for us. We've still got quite a few of the Outcast crew that are yet to join us, and hopefully in the future they can jump on. But these are just the how many do we have, Muffy? In the Outcast crew?
It's like 7 or 8 of us. We just lost one. We just lost Donnie, who was DJ Quest. We lost him to Australia. So he's just moved over to Aussie.
Bloody dingo.
Yeah, bloody dingo. But before that, he had the reins. He was taking the reins. I decided to kind of step back and let the young fellas have a go at it, and he did a really good job. He was a really big asset to Outcast, but we're also proud of him, and it's good to see him kind of get on his own now and spread his wings out over there and give the Aussies a bloody good run for their dollar, So it's good to see. It's sad to see him go, but it's good to see him man up and just he's
He is own
taking his family, taking his family over there with him, and he's about to he's gonna blow
embark
he's
on a new journey in Australia. So Australia, if you're tuning in from Australia, man, we've got the host DJ Quest or Donnie, If you know him,
He's
he's
playing
over
tonight
there.
at I think out in Brisbane. So before the 4 a.m. crew from Bigo, they all they got like a big party on there tonight. So he literally just landed yesterday, straight into
He's
a gig
in
tonight.
there.
So he's in there. So that's the
He's in
kind of
there.
like that's the kind of drive that we have at Outcast. Say it's like you gotta, it's not under just a wing and you just ride the wave. You gotta put your ass into it as well and just put some work in and build yourself up because
Your ass. Put your ass in it.
bro, get loud, get loud. Nah, yeah, it's yeah. There's a few of us, and apologies from those that couldn't make it tonight. We had them lined up, but some family things have come up. But we've got some big names, some cool names, man, in our team.
Some very good names coming.
Hey, we've got one. We've got a new one coming. I think we'll announce them at the end of the week. And this one will shock you guys. It'll shock everybody.
No, it's not me. It's not me. Because
No.
I'm a free
We
agent.
don't need
for-
Tis.
It can't be me. Can't be me.
We need
yeah,
a
so
mic
it's
that
not
works
us two.
with the
it's not
wire
us two.
inside.
And yeah, I don't know how to look after the audio, so it's definitely not me. But along the lines of I guess Outcasts and the DJs, because majority of the group is all DJs, and then we have T Raw MC. But back to J Beats, I guess tell us a time where one of your first sets, or if you're DJing at a party, did anything go wrong, or you had everything set up, and was there a time where something went wrong and you had to run with it, or I don't know, no
The
power
horror
and you had to
stories.
sing? So it's your beautiful voice.
When I started, the first place I jammed it was up out in Howick, Botany, at a place called Celsius, and that was through also at DJ Giddy. Shout out to DJ Giddy. When I done a set by myself, it was to a European crowd. So for me, that was a challenge on its own because straight away I had to kind of try and widen my knowledge of music, which I'm grateful for now because it makes me versatile with having white people around. But yeah, when it first started, it was real hard for me because I only ever listened to brown music. So straight off the bat, I had to try and cater to, say like a 30 plus, 40 plus white people, and then as well as a young white crowd. So for me, that like the whole time I was playing, I was like stressing, like I had like 30 seconds left on the song, and I was still trying to find the next song. So and then it ended up in I'll just punch whatever song I landed on, I'll just chuck it on and play it, and hope that they all didn't give me the side eye. But yeah, that was where I first played, and I learned a lot from playing there. So but that was probably hard for me playing to a white crowd straight off the bat.
Speaking of white crowd, because in the past, Muffy, at one of his gigs, he said he didn't have the waltz song to one of the weddings.
Probably my worst ever thing I could have ever done.
So for you, J Beats, was that your worst? Like I guess being prepared but not being prepared, having European songs. What was one of your worst nights? Or were you perfect? Everything went well.
No, my worst night I've had, to be honest, was at a Samoan 21st. Like,
like the pressure.
Honestly, like
the pressure.
Just like I'm Samoan and I'm proud to be Samoan, but they're so hard to please, eh? Like especially when there's when like it's a 21st, but the oldies want to hear what they want to hear. So like I'm trying to cater to a young crowd, and like the MC or like our old man will come up to me and say, "Oh, can you play a Samoan song, please?" And then I'll play a song, and then he won't dance to it, and nobody will dance to it, but he'll want to hear the whole song. So then, and it's worse because I'm in the front on the stage, so I'm kind of high. So everybody's like looking at me, and I'm looking at the old man, and he's like looking at me like, play the whole song. So it's like, yeah, so it's like,
mental health is going down and down and down.
Yeah, So like my wife turned up and she was like, "Are you alright?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not alright." But like, I can't turn it off and go home. Hey. So yeah, no, it's crazy. So like, yeah, it's really hard to please the Samoan crowd. Like, yeah, even to this day, I do some stuff for my parents, and like even they look at me, and I'm like, "This is the playlist you gave me," and like you're not happy with it, but you gave me the music, So it's like, man.
So,
Yeah.
so when they give you a playlist, how much of it do you keep? Say, for example, someone turns up, "Hey, I need you to play this," but at the end of the day, like do you play everything, or do you like bring in what that does fit the crowd?
So like when I take on a private gig, I'll tell the client, "Give me your top 20, and I'll play your top 20, and then I'll vibe off that, or I'll vibe off the crowd, but give me just a little amount of songs that you need to hear, and I'll make sure I play that. But for the rest of the night, let me cater to what I can see, because not everybody wants to hear what you want to hear."
Let me cater to you, eh?
Yeah.
I like it. I
You
like
see,
it.
he done the money. That's how you know he done the money.
Nice. And how much of
This is
that?
coming from Marty.
From Marty.
The white people.
Marty.
Shout out Marty.
Shout out to
What did he
Marty.
say, Swanky? What did he say?
Marty says no, those are J Beats DJs to white people and Asians at F45.
Those who don't know, JB also DJs at F45 Peptide. Saturday mornings they have like a live DJ, so he's in there in the skins and the small shorts,
Eee.
but he's the DJ this time.
Are you pumping weights at the same time you're doing this? Like doing this?
Audio and visual show.
I think they'll throw me out if I did that else.
So, boys, I know you guys have brought up Mr. Mafioso, also known as the Mafio Show. How much? I guess. How much time did he give in to you guys? As in, like, you guys took in, and this is what I'm going to use every gig, or turn up to a show and go, "Oh fuck, this is what Mafioso said." This is at the beginning of your career, at the beginning of DJing, and at the beginning of being an MC. How much did you guys take away from what Mafioso said? Because I know for speaking on a personal level, for the show itself, he's always kind of pushed us. He goes, "Hey, bro, there's always something he always says to us, and that's every week. We never fold." But for you guys, at the beginning of your career, because of Mafioso, how much info or I guess advice did he give to you guys? We'll start with you, Tiro.
Shit.
Yeah.
If he gave you anything or nothing, that's up to you.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. I mean, coming from him, and obviously, being mates for years now, and I sort of looked at it as a, I guess, in a good way. I guess, being what I am now, being an MC is it's not as sort of an easy job as everybody thinks it is. Just hop on the mic and say whatever you feel like saying, because no one would want to take you serious. So, at times that there will be like, I'll be just don't feel like MCing at nights, and then I'll get the backlash. He'll turn around and he goes, "Silly, get the da 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 da," all these bad words. "Come here, MC, do your job, man."
Yeah, we want to hear those bad words, bro. Just let it loose, bro. Let it loose.
Watching, and at the same time, it's it's good to have like him to sort of put us, I guess, on our feet, but in check to do what we're doing. Because obviously it's sort of like an entertainment, and obviously that's what we're there to do. And he sort of tells me how and what times that he'll drop sets. For instance, we'll work on, because me and his vibe, his chemistry is sort of click on. I would know off the top of my head what he'll play song after song, and then he'll give me, say for instance, say a 20-second intro that the song will just play to the intro until obviously a verse will come in. And then I'll look at him, he'll look at me, and obviously he'll give me like a time frame. And then in my mind at that time, I have 20 seconds to sort of say something before the song actually starts. So by the time he gives me the nod and the intro starts, and I'm already gone. My mind just says whatever it's saying. You know, I
Bro.
don't really think of it. Just comes out like sort of normally.
So,
And then
off the top of your head, Muffy's
So, like,
giving
off
you
the
the wink
dome.
now. What are you gonna say?
So,
Muffy's giving you the wink.
Straight up,
So what are you gonna say off the top of your head?
I'll pop a beat. I'll give him 10 seconds. I look at him. This guy's been relaxing. He'll look at me. I look at him. You got 10 seconds. I don't care what you say. You're gonna say 10 seconds worth of something. Bang.
yeah,
Off the bat. He just,
So like that. Oh man, I've seen
Well, I
it
can hear it.
you gotta
live
hear
too.
it, man. You gotta hear
you
it.
know, I could be talking to somebody. I'll cut this person off because I could hear the intro is about to come. It's about to start. So I'll be like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, and then the intro starts. Because shout out to everybody up in this club. You know, you want to grab yourself a drink. And then it'll just come off, you know, Outcast and the table DJ Mafiosa T-Raw in this house, let's go. And then boom, the chorus and the wave of the verse starts. And then everybody's like vibing off, like, what the hell's going on? Like, and then continue talking to this person else. Oh, sorry, you know, so I can tell because like they'll tell me, you know, intro the song because it's a long intro, and then obviously I will get a sort of a time frame off that thing and then just vibe off that. And
I think what you gotta like realize is like when I say like there's like rap MCs, there's hype MCs, there's like the people are like they're kind of like waiting for like something exciting, and it's like it kicks in like every couple of like songs. Like you could do like 10 songs, and then the cast starts getting flat. So this guy, he'll just bring the feelings back into it, eh? With the shit that he says. It could be some real basic stuff, you know, get drinks at the bar, whatever. But it's like that live presence, eh? It's like he can almost tell the people what to do, basically, and they'll do it, you know, straight up. And I don't know, it's just like at first it's chemistry, like what he said it is. Second, it's just his voice. It's like you know, it's like
But like you saw in that clip,
tiger, a lion, or
that clip we
something.
talked.
But it's saying that it's not only like Buffy said, it's not only him that I do it for. It's anyone in part of our team, and then it's anybody that's not part of our team that I've guessed at anywhere DJ. You know, they'll just pop over and say, "Oh, can you say something this and that?" While I drop an intro, and say, "Yeah, sweet, all good." And then you know they vibe off that, and then they look at me. It's like, "Man, how did you come up with that?" I said, just comes up with the top of my head. Because then you take that, and obviously because you take that form that Mafia had said, you know, you gotta be this, you gotta live on this, you gotta be on time with this. So you take that and then you perform it onto the next DJ, and then onto the next DJ, and then onto the next DJ, and all of a sudden these DJs know that, man, this guy, even like when a song like say cuts out, or like there's the CDJ or whatever gets cut out, you know, and then everybody's looking at like, oh, the DJ, like the song cut off, and then here I come in, just out of nowhere. I just come in and then blah blah this blah that. 10 seconds, I'll be saying the same thing over and over again until I see these guys panicking. They're trying to fix whatever, and then obviously, shout out to that I see you here, or shout out to this, or buy your drink, or get me one, and then all I can hear is, and then it's working, and then it'll go off. So you get MCs that panic to do that, but obviously I don't, because it's just something I've seen over the years, and I see these guys are working hard trying to get the system or the computer working again, and I just come in and just blab until the system runs up again. So
nothing like live hype. There's nothing like live hype. Straight up, it makes the club.
Yeah, bro, that's it. Because I've been to quite a few clubs in my time, but like only one. Oh, bro, no, I don't go out at night. It's got the
only the book club.
No. Yeah, you guys want to join my? But no, like in the club, for people that are just drinking, that you just don't know what's going on within like the DJs or the MC. But being the person that's, I guess, the client that's buying drinks, you hear the MC like shout out these words, and it sounds like it's so easy, but what you just said there, it's like it's a talent because you feed off your DJ.
Yeah.
For you, T Raw, has there ever been a time where everything went bad for you, not the DJ, but for yourself, or at the beginning of your career, did something go wrong where you, I don't know, didn't plug in the mic properly, like my mate?
Yeah, I guess it would always fall back to what I'm plugged into or who I'm plugged into. And obviously we can't use the sort of the main port that we normally use to where I plug in because it'll feed off that. But if I plug into sort of, obviously J Beats or Muffy's CDJ or CDJ or the mixer, and obviously when that goes off, it obviously turns my mic off. So there'll be instances where the music will go off, and then they'll be like, say something, and then when I go say something, and then I'm looking at them because the mic is off, and then now I'm panicking because the mic is off. And so, and then obviously everybody's trying to plug in to get some sort of sound in, but yeah, it would always fall back to sort of who I'm plugged in, but I've never been to or have done any shows that if music cuts off, then my mic cuts off because obviously we're plugged into two different portals and so.
Shout out to Lance. MCT Raw makes the people take their shirts off at the club.
Oh no!
Shout out to those people that do take their shirts off in the club.
Personal experience, Lance. Oh.
I don't know if Lance taking his shirt off or is it T Raw taking his shirt off.
I don't think MCT Raw answered that question though, because I think I knew what his worst gig was.
Oh
Okay,
no!
okay.
Exposed here.
Muffy will know this too. A couple of years ago, it was Muffy's birthday, and we had a party at Orion's. And Tino was emceeing, and this guy was so drunk that he was standing on the stage in front of everybody, facing the DJ sleeping.
Let's go. Let's go.
The MC went to sleep.
Too many shots. Those are supposed to be hidden in the archives. No one should know those.
In the vault.
That was a night, though. In T-Raw's defense, that was a night of like. That was a messy night. It was a good night. Yeah, it was good.
So while we're on the topic of I guess the low or not the low or like the beginning of your career, who J Beats or stuff? Yeah, sorry. Who have been some of the role models or some of the best people you've DJed to, or for Muffy, he said Fiji is one of the best that he's ever DJed with. For yourself, J Beats, do you have someone that you looked up to, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm DJing at his concert or event?
Probably two comes to mind, and it'll probably be the same as Muffy when I DJed for Fiji at Stampede, where I'm resident at. He was nothing like it. Like his whole set, every song was sang by the crowd. Like he probably didn't even have to sing, and the crowd were just lit from beginning to end. That I've never experienced anything like that before. So DJing for Fiji was definitely a memory. And another one was the artist Fear. To date, I think he's had the best vocals I've heard live. I DJed for a gig that he did with Samu and Samuels at Stampede, and that's the first time I never knew who Fear was till that night, and his vocals live were the best I've heard. Yeah.
You haven't heard
starting up Boost, J Beats, like who did you learn from, or like watch their technique and try to like emulate their
Also,
style of DJ.
the other member of your podcast show.
Oh.
Yeah, nah, just following him. Like seriously,
If-
like
If he wasn't
yeah.
if he wasn't here, would you say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
We
here
can-
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, also was that guy, Muffy.
These guys are like my kids, man. These guys are like,
Yeah.
come to
We go
Papa.
way back. Yeah.
Every single one of them are like, yeah, it's just, you can't like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but you just gotta like,
I
when
guess
someone
you can
shows,
say
when
that.
someone shows the passion, when someone shows you the
Yeah.
passion, someone's got the drive for what they're telling you they want to do. Who are you to say no way? Who are you to say you can't have that? Who are you to say you can't do what I'm doing? Who am I to say I've got a platform, but I'm not going to let you use my platform to gain off it or to learn some technique or skill or upskill? I mean, in all honesty, it could be a lifestyle change that I've like now stopped them from having by not helping them. So I always say, like, who am I to like not allow these people to have it if they're humble enough and show me that they want it that much. So you can say my name, but in all honesty, that's where it comes from. When it comes from me to them, it's like, yeah, you show me you want it. I put in the hard yards. I need you to put the hard yards in as well, and I will be there to help you out. So, yes, I have been there to help the boys out, and I will continually be there for the boys to help them out. Because, man, who am I not to give that help or not to lend a hand that it's like my kids.
Shadows.
Yeah.
That's very good to hear, Muffy. For yourself, Muffy, how did Outcast come about? Did you and someone else start the crew, or did you see a gap in the industry where, hey, Outcast is gonna make it on the scene? We're gonna get it started, and when did it start? Outcast Entertainment.
I think in regards to Outcast starting out, for a long time, myself, MCT Raw, Quest, worked under Yo-Yo Entertainment, which is another Southside crew run by John Afabasanga. Shout out to John. And things went from average to good to mean to the best. We shut down we ran through a couple of clubs. We did Toby's, from Toby's to Guadas. Everyone loves Guadas.
Right.
Guadas was
Right.
the comeback. Guadas was the comeback. We went from there to Orion's. From there we jumped over to, I think it was 18.
For the
1981.
listeners out there, where's Guadas or Orion's, or where are these clubs
If
based?
you're from South Auckland, you will know these places are Manukau, like Southside based. All Southside based clubs, bars. But it's just, yeah. So we run amok with that guy for a while out of Yo-Yo Entertainment until we kind of just left, really.
What ways?
And parted ways. Everybody just kind of did their own thing. I think Tino was the first one to move off after Quest. And then I was happy. I've been in the game for a while now, so I was happy just to, I don't know, I'd say take the backseat, like just cruise, rock up, do my hours, go home, not have to worry about anything else that was going on or organize anything. So I was happy that I was quite comfortable. But what happened was that once you all kind of left, Quest, who's now left us, he kind of like
He's gone
He's
to another
fucking-
entertainment group.
bruh,
This guy, this
let's just
Quest,
say-
bro. He's
let's
always
just
on the
say-
Quest, Moose.
let's just say he kind of like bugged me for years. It's like, cuz, let's start up our own. I'm like, oh, being a couple of years in, I'm like, oh, I can't even be bothered with it. But he was, I think, the main push to get Outcast started. and of course, we all kind of like everywhere. So we kind of like got together. We pulled T-Raw back in, Quest, myself. At the time, we had Spin the Cut as well. Shout out to those all. And we formed Outcast because we were the guys that got a cut. Not so much cut, but like we're the Outcasts, say like.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
So is that
we
where
like,
that name came from, mate?
that's where the name came from. We were like,
That's
oh
where
yeah,
they come from.
you want to be like that? Oh yeah, we're gonna like form it.
You don't want me, huh?
You never loved me. Yeah. So yeah, man. So we put our little team together. We knew we would be a team to like reckon with. Once we got together and started rolling. Jay Beats was automatic. He was Jay Beats is Jay Beats. Yeah. Jay Beats is automatic. So yeah, we had Jay Beats in. He's day one. We lost Spin the Cut along the way. He went back to Yo-Yo, but we kept pushing with Outcast, and we had a few failures because that's where you builds character. Eh? Like so, you gotta take those.
That's
failures.
where you learn, bro. Yep, that's where you learn.
That's where you say I'm never doing that again, or or like fuck that. So we took that on the chin because sometimes you have the best interests for the people, but they don't love you back. Like they don't want to support or want to do come out to where you vibe and what you bring, even though they love what you do. South Auckland's funny like that, but we're not gonna stop. So we keep pushing with Outcast, and now we're in town. We're in Auckland City. But yeah, we've expanded so much that we've got a female DJ on board as well, DJ Leams, who couldn't make it tonight. We got DJ Panda.
Shout out
to Mr. Craig. Him and Jay Beats had this thing that they're always on each other's cases, but they're like a married couple. Who else is on tonight? Quest is gone. We got our man 651, who is probably the most well-known DJ. I
guess the most active at the moment, right? Like in terms of full-time mixes, like that. And for you guys, mixtape. Sorry, for you guys that have joined in tonight, if you run it back to our other shows, we do have some of DJ 651's mixes. But if you do want more of his mixes, just contact him. His mixes are fire, man. And at the same time,
people don't realize how talented that guy is. He's like musician talented as well as mixtape and DJing and all that. Him and Spin the Cut have the same kind of like ear, talent, when it comes to music. So having guys like that on your team is it's crazy. Couple that with Mr. T-Raw. I'm telling you, we got a team. We got a damn good team.
Jax.
Yes, we've just recruited Jax as well from West Side Central. We kind of covered Auckland as a whole.
Yeah, the boys.
Man, we've got a new awwn in our team. We got we've got a pretty good team. And we cover you gotta hear us. We've also got a social coming up, so if you haven't heard us, please come along
through. So again, we brought this up at the beginning, but the Outcast Entertainment have an event coming up on the 17th of April, which is a Saturday. If you're after tickets, venue is the Republic Bar, South Auckland, which is in Manukau. If you are keen to jump on board, or support the boys or come for a bit of a laugh, there we go. Let's go. So there goes the information there. And not at the same time, our page will be sending out all this info. But again, so 17th April, Saturday, come through to Republic Bar.
Oh, support.
It's going to be a good one because the DJs will be on rotate. So you'll see J Beats, you'll see the man himself, J Beats, and T Raw. So if you don't know what T Raw and J Beats are about, come through, bring a friend, bring all your friends, bring all your family. Tickets are only $10, mate. I don't think you'll ever come across a south side an event at $10. $10, mate. Too easy. So come through $10. And if the event starts at 10 p.m., but I guess the crew will be there earlier. The crew meaning Swanky by himself.
I will be there checking the dress code.
So Sanku will be on the door to check everyone's ID. And also we've got Shisha there as well. I'm not part of the crew. I'm saying we as in Outcast. I haven't been signed up. I haven't got my money yet. So, so I'm still waiting for my contract. But the boys, the Outcast Entertainment crew, will be there to drop some of the latest songs, some of the best hype music, and the best in the game. Just putting you guys on blast, eh?
Oh, get there, it's caca ass. Nah, come through. It'll be a good night. Everything from hip hop and R&B to some Afrobeat to some little something you might not have heard in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a great night for everyone.
Let's just say it'll be good for your mental health. Let's just say that, eh? Because it will be.
Shop boys. So I guess during this time, boys, I know we started a bit late. Do you guys? I know. Do you guys have stories you want to share with people that are out there? J Beats, Tiro, I guess, regarding mental health, because it's important. It's important to let everything out, and let stuff out, and talk to people. How important is mental health to you guys, J Beats and Tiro? How important is it to sort out your mental health? We'll start with J Beats, if you have any.
Mental health is pretty big, especially if you have kids. You know, you need to be in the kind of right state of mind. You know, especially if you're doing a 9 to 5, then you're doing something else after that. Trying to prioritize your time, and I think just trying to be in the right state of mind. I think, just for myself. So I work a 9 to 5. I DJ Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is really the only day I have for family time. So even though I'm tired from working for the whole weekend, I got to make sure I put time into my family. And that's probably a huge thing.
Sure.
So getting that right is important, and that's probably one of the things that Muffy told me early on in my DJ career was probably one of the key advice he said to me was, if I'm going to DJ, make sure it's worth it. You know, I'm taking time away from my kids that I can never get back, and it has to be worth it if I'm going to lose time away from my kids. So that's one thing that stuck with me, making sure that if I'm not here, if I'm DJing, that make sure that it's worth it and my kids benefit, my family benefit from it. So,
Nice.
yeah.
What do you? I think one of the questions we like to ask on every show is, what do you do to sort of reset yourself, like for your own personal, like for yourself? Is it the gym, or is it working out your thing, or
Is it DJing? Spending time with your kids? Just
Probably
going out
just-
for a walk? pumping
Couldn't tell
200
if my kids and my
kgs a
wife.
set.
Nah, not me. That's Muffy.
Cut T-Raw. He's bombing. He's bombing. He's bombing.
Pumping is better than gap.
Nah.
Let's get it.
Nah, I kind of don't really. I don't really have a reset. I think what I keep turning back to is my why, like why I'm working hard or why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's kind of what I fall back on. I don't really have like I get to a certain stage and then I'm like, man, what am I doing? Or I kind of turn back and it's why I'm doing it, and that's what keeps me going. I'm just making sure that I'm doing everything I'm doing for the right reasons.
Check is.
Hmm.
You say that when you're washing dishes? Like, why am I washing the dishes?
I don't say anything because I just smile.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Because if you say something wrong, Usi, you know what happens.
Oh,
Then you don't say anything, you just smile. Hey.
Just smiling makes me noise when you're watching the
You smiling and breaking the dishes at the same time. Tiro, yourself, bro. I guess main question will be how important is mental health to you, especially within your career, because as a MC, you'll be out late at night doing the naughty things,
doing funny things.
doing
Funny and itchy things.
Like, in general, how important is your mental health? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's very important, like those who says it, I guess everybody else that's jumped on your podcast and sort of reflect on what mental health is it to them, and yeah, look, it's just having that right state of mind, like John said, and having that time that to sort of give back into having that time with your family and kids. I really can't sort of I guess express, but I think it's a platform to sort of open up and sort of talk about what sort of personal feelings that I'm going through now with my mental health. And I can tell you now, and if everybody's listening, it's not sort of where I want it to be like now, I guess. There's a tough challenge in my life that I'm going through at the moment, but guys like John and 651, Muffy and Swanky, everybody else that sort of helped me in terms of setting me straight to sort of not think of the worst, to sort of there was always going to be light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sort of an open up person in discussing what it's like to live in a dark, confined space right now at the moment. But what sort of opens up for me and sort of what I can see at the end of the tunnel is my kids. Like I said, I'm going through like a hard time. I guess in my sort of marriage life at the moment. But as my parents say, all life trials and tribulations comes with it. Life is never perfect. My life is never perfect. Anyone's life is not perfect. But in terms of getting the help you need and the advice that you need to sort of live day by day, I think those guys to sort of in terms of helping me out, because it's very important, because I'd be in a dark place at most times and days, and it's like something really, I wouldn't know, this feeling just grabs onto your your mind and your heart, and it squeezes it, and you're trying to sort of breathe fresh air or trying to breathe at the same time, but you can't, because there's something there holding and by the time when you want it to release, it'll be too late because you've done something that you don't want to do, or you're thinking of those things of what you want to do. But in every day, what pushes me to sort of live this sort of life on day by day and to look at things is I got to look at what are my kids going to look at it if they know their dad is not here anymore, or their dad is suffering from this, or he's in hospital, or is, etc.
Charles.
So, you know, being where I'm at now and having my kids to sort of look at and lean on to, that's the sort of drive, um, that I'm going through every day. And having my time occupied outside of family time and going to do these gigs and seeing the boys, that's what, sort of keeps me going. It takes my mind off these little things that sort of latch onto me. Like I said, the process that I'm going through is not easy, and it never will be, because it's not something I've ever felt before. I could be in a simple relationship. Yeah, I'll probably cry here one, 2 times, and we'll get over it and move on, because obviously, it's just your girlfriend. You're not really sort of. But what I'm going through now is because I guess you give your all to this certain person, and if that certain person doesn't give their all back and sort of toss you out like some sort of garbage, that's where it hurts the most, because you thought that everlasting life or love that you thought will sort of continue at a certain age just vanishes. So I encourage people that sort of have that sort of mental or health issues, or have that sort of problem that I'm going through, just talk to somebody, open up, express the feelings. Muffy knows. I don't think, this will probably be the only person that knows deeply how rough I've been, year after year, month after month, day after day, even still now. But I look at friends like, him, John, and them that encourage me, you don't need to sort of, and they give me those sort of push and drive to keep going. Don't think about the past. Don't hold. Just got to keep moving forward. So I'm at a stage where I am happy now, what I'm doing now with being back on, into work and keeping myself busy and seeing the boys going out and doing the nightclub. It sort of keeps me grounded and takes my mind off, a lot of things. If I can explain to you like 1,000 things what I was going through, we'll be on the show forever.
For days.
So, but like I said, everybody has a sort of story to tell, and I encourage those people to just open up to anybody, to even a counselor, to even your best friends. Your friends are there to hold you, whether if you're on the street, if they find out you're on the street, they'll take you in your hand, bring you into your home, see what's happened, because it's the last thing they ever want to hear from you. So yeah, where it is now, where my mental health now is sort of balanced, because then I get to look forward to see my kids on the weekend and not having to go to the gigs and stuff like that. But when they're gone, then I look forward to seeing friends and going out and being occupied with them and doing things. So yeah.
Shot for the
Shuttles.
shells.
Yeah. Truth about being,
Because
through what I'm going through now. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm one of those
Everybody-
victims, but I'm not.
The
I'm not
only
just
That's
gonna
not
sit.
gross. I think you
I'm
said
not
it
gonna
also.
sit.
I think you said it when you said like, bro, it's not like day after day. You've gone from like days to months to years. So you're like, it's not. I'm struggling day after day. It's been years now, so you're like, you're progressing. You're not stuck back in the beginning or still, fighting off the same. You've actually learned and you're growing and you're getting like the T Raw's coming back out. Like it's man. I do know what this fellow's been through, what he's going through, where he's at, where his headspace is at. I do, and I take my hat off to this guy. It's never my story to tell, but I can vouch for this dude any day of the week.
And it's
So I'm
I
proud
guess
of you. I'm like deeply
it's
proud. Crazy.
it's credit to the team you guys have, because like T-Raw said, you know, he talks to people in his crew, he talks to his family, and this is, I guess, the main part of us as a platform is talking, and not many of us as islanders or poly men, as the talking parts that are the hardest, because
Yeah.
you know, we've all gone through a stage in our lives that you want to keep it in. You know, you don't want everyone to hear it, but
No.
I guess the truth
Right.
of the matter is you have to let it out at some point, because, and again, I say this every probably episode, and I'm not a professional at all. I don't take any I don't have a degree in counseling, but I have a degree in podcasting. Like, I don't have a degree in podcasting. I'm just a wannabe podcaster. But you know, the burden does get heavy. The burden does get heavy when you have all these, I guess, and I don't want to scare everybody, like the shit that's in your head. It does get heavy. So when it gets heavy, it's going to come out maybe in a negative form. And at the end of it, there's ways to, I guess, steps to help you. And I have steps for myself. Swanky has steps for himself. Muffy, J Beach, they all have steps. T-Raw, and you know, T-Raw is balanced at the moment, and that's a positive. The biggest positive you can get out of it is being balanced. You're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're not going to come out of it as perfect people, but if you learn from the mistakes, if you learn from the shit that's in your head, and not take it out negatively, it's the best place you could be in. Yeah, you're gonna come. There's gonna come a day tomorrow where shit, I gotta go back and think about the shit. But yet, you know, where you can look forward to is where, you know, you're gonna have your kids next weekend. You're gonna have something in place, and that's the positive. So, with me beating around the bush and saying what everyone else is thinking, you got to try and find the positive parts in your day.
Yeah. And remembering your why, like those who said, having his kids at the forefront. That's the light at the end of the tunnel for those who T-Raw. And shout out for you acknowledging the fact that you're going through and you're reaching out to your boys. Because acknowledging and reaching out is probably the hardest thing, is reaching out at least and telling your story, and is the hardest part. Because us as poly mentally, our ego and pride, second to none, solely, just like, nah, I don't want to seem weak.
Like, it's bad enough that, like, as males, to not want to. And then you're a poly male on top of that also. It's like, you're not tough if you open your mouth, but you know, you have to be like vulnerable like that, give it up. Give yourself up.
And you don't have to be vulnerable to everyone. Like I say, talk to everyone, but you don't have to be. You can be vulnerable to your mom and dad, or vulnerable to us on here. You don't need to be vulnerable, because that's the hardest part, is being vulnerable. That's the hardest part. You can be vulnerable to your kids, but at the same time, your kids being so young, they're not going to understand. But you need the help that's at the end of it. The help is the biggest part. Letting it out, yes, but your steps that you move forward with is the I guess the best part that you need to. And that's what I learned at AUT.
Oh, yeah. But you know, being in that space, in that dark space, like we spoke on it before, like the voices in your head are the loudest. Like all the negative thoughts are the loudest ones. Like your friends can tell you this and this, but those voices in your head are the loudest, the only ones you listen. Bro. So shout out for you to like, nah. Yeah. This is my why. This is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I want. This is the example I'm gonna set for my kids, and so it's just reaching out and acknowledging.
Yeah,
it's a massive.
I just want to sort of tell you, because those voices in your head, being where I'm at now, and because you thought what you like, because obviously being sort of now on the verge of being divorced, you at that time you know, all I thought was just this one woman, you know, just hit the mother of my kids will live forever. Now that it's sort of now different and we're apart, in my mind and what I went through is that no one's gonna love me anymore. No one's gonna want to go out with this dad that's got two kids and it's got this package with him. And that's how I thought. That's that was really, oh man, no one's gonna, you know, go out this and that, and no one's really gonna love me the way this woman had loved me. And then after giving up everything for her, why did she treat me this way? And you know, there will be times I cry here by myself in my own apartment at night. I just bawl my eyes out, just asking why. And then I don't know if my parents are watching, but I did tell them to tune in. But without my parents, especially my mom, I'm an emotional. I like to tell you, I'm an emotional 32-year-old man. I can cry to my mom regardless how old I am. But the thing that I could see, because obviously my dad and obviously they're separated, they're happy enough in their marriage. It was my stepdad that sort of had told me that, you know, what you're going through, he's been through. He's been through 3 marriages. Now meeting my mom, he has sort of put my mom on this pedestal that she's the perfect woman, because obviously he was in the state of mind where I am at now. I am leaving him as when he was 20 or 30 years younger. You know what I mean? And him being through those marriages and him learning through life, he had taught me that at the end of what you're going through, you know, there will always be a light at the end of time. There will always be somebody there that will love you. There will always be somebody there to pick you up and restart again, start that process. So I took that in, and obviously now sort of put me into a happier place, because, you know, I'm looking forward to that end of life sometime soon. So if I were to give
Shadows,
any
man.
advice to anybody that's listening, that's going through, or any of their friends, like you guys, your podcast, it's just open up, speak to. You don't need to speak to everybody, but then if this is a platform where we can open up, I can share my story and I can share what I'm going through. Hopefully, it will help the next person and the next person and on to the next person.
It definitely is. That's what this is all about.
And I thank, like, you know, I thank all the boys, especially on this podcast, and those listening, and for those missing me, you know, things will be all right. Yes.
And yeah, you've got quite a few people that are messaging through and sending their love. Because you're in a greater place than you were before. For me personally, hearing the story, it's always a hard one to see any of our poly boys or poly men out there that are struggling, but yet they can find a way to get through, or become better men. So T-Raw, man, I thank you for sharing your piece with us tonight, and also J Beats for sharing your story, because the best experience you can get is of someone that's personally, or someone that's going through it. You could have all the, like, in the chat we got Lance, no degree will ever tell you or teach someone or give it advice that's going to help you through your life, because it's the personal experiences that do, and you hear you hear it from people. So man, I'm grateful for JBs and T-Raw for jumping on and sharing that side of their vulnerability side of their lives, and hopefully in the future we can I guess tap into it more, jump on, and I for me, again, I always talk about me. I'm not being selfish, so I'm not being selfish, guys. But for this show, I guess we have goals, and when we start on our shows, I hope that when we do get people in the past, they want to experience, and they want to share their stories, because people want to hear it. I know these are a lot of. I got family members that are out here that want to hear hear your story, T-Raw, or hear your story. I know they want to hear it, because they want to hear it from other people, because they think they're by themselves.
Yeah.
But they're not. They're not by
They're not.
themselves. We're here. We're here, and it's a cliche to say, "Oh yeah, we're always here for you." But the only way we can do that is by having this platform. So now, grateful T-Raw, JBs, thanks for sharing your story, man.
No, that's very
Sure.
cool,
That was
boys.
good. Sure, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely, bro. So we'll come to a time on the show is where we give out advices. I know throughout this episode, both of you guys, both the Usos have shared many nuggets along the way. You know, opening up, being balanced, but advice or tips on people's to share with people. We'll start with Swanky because he's always got the golden nuggets.
No nuggets. No, boys. Firstly, just want to say thank you to J Beats and T-Raw for making the time this late Thursday night to jump on the podcast and have a little talanoa. Share your stories and experiences, not only with us, but our viewers and listeners as well. But yeah, my message is the same every week, Coast, is check in on your boys, your family, loved ones. I'm pretty sure everyone's sick of me saying it, but checking in, man, it's I think some take it so lightly, but you just never know. You check in once and then you just, man,
That can open the
I've
floodgates.
been waiting for someone to check in, you know? Like those ones, like, oh man, I've been waiting for you to check in. Yeah. So just check in on those Usos, the loved ones that you haven't heard from or you haven't seen in a while. And yeah, that's it for me, boys.
Sure, Swanky. J Beats. Any tips or advice for people that are out there going through the mental health struggles, or just anything in general, man? Because it doesn't have to be of mental health; it could be something else.
For me, probably just making sure you know what your why is, your reason for what you're doing, because your why will be your best motivator. That'll be the main thing that'll keep you going. So just making sure you know what your why is, and if you ever hit a speed bump or ever in a place where you kind of lost where you're going, just remember what your why is, and your why will always bring you back to where you need to go. Probably it for me.
Charles, always, man. Muffy.
Ouch.
Sorry.
For me, it's probably tonight will be off what Tino mentioned, and probably also a disclaimer. When I say that, I'm probably talking about what I mean to say is, man, we proved tonight that like you didn't have to have a degree or anything like that to give the right advice or to help somebody out. Like Tino said tonight, he learned something from somebody who'd been married 3 times. And where's that in university that tells you to get married 3 times, you know, before you learn a lesson? So, like, I think that's a really good lesson or something to take. If you never believed that somebody could help you in the slightest way, was that opening up to somebody and getting not criticism, but like feedback and advice is, man, it's always something that's worth doing. So, yeah, if you're out there and you need some kind of advice or help or suggestions on what to do next, reach out. Reach out to Fortheboys podcast. Reach out to your mum, your dad, your siblings, your boys, your bro, your sis, whoever you feel comfortable doing it with. That's the person that needs to hear what you've got to say and get off your chest. So yeah, that's me for tonight. Thank you to the Usos for jumping on. Love you, boys.
Sure,
Love
Uso.
all my team. Love my Fortheboys podcast team. Yeah, laugh, never laugh.
And
Well,
yeah, for you, T-Raw, MC T-Raw. Yeah, bro. Just any advice, brother?
Yeah, I guess with everybody else that's sort of going through what mental health or have anything to share, just you don't need to tell the whole world if you don't feel like it. Tell your closest friends, your parents, because those are the ones that will help you along the way. They'll guide you to sort of where you want to go. And if, like my old man would tell me, if life throws a curveball at you, you just smack that motherfucker out the field. So,
Let's
um,
go.
so yeah. I guess, yeah,
Oh,
like I said, if there was a curveball thrown at me and I've been struck out, I guess twice, and third time I smacked that out. So,
Shadows.
there'll always be light at the end of the tunnel.
Boy,
It's true, and I'm a living proof. I'm a victim of what I'm going through now, and yeah, so
Shot also.
all
thank
love.
you, sir.
Shadows.
where it
Shadows.
goes.
Shadows. So again, man, we're so grateful, and we appreciate J Beats and T-Raw jumping on with us, sharing the stories, because it's so easy to share. I guess no, sorry. It's so easy to tell someone to share their stories. So before we start our show, we always try and give our guest time to share or say what they don't want to talk about. And in the past and till now, it's so easy for them to say, "Oh, sorry." It's been easy for them to say, "No, nothing's off topic." So that gives our job as for the boys podcast a lot easier, because we get to I guess what do you call it, dive deep into mental health, and also to make it 10 times easier is when they share their struggles. The struggles are
Yeah.
important to everyone out here as well as us. It's so important that people get to hear it. If we don't share any type of struggles or anything that's going wrong in our lives, it's not going to benefit anyone out there or people that are listening to us. Shout out to the chat for coming through, and I guess
All right.
messaging the boys, messaging J Beats and T Raw. No one ever asks us any questions because we talk too much. But
the haters in the chat, bro.
I think Bobby do
Ah.
something.
Me, Bobby,
So before we end it, I guess something I want to take away from this. So this is
toxic
Bobby.
Bobby.
What did
T-Ron.
Bobby say?
T-Ron J Beats can use Lalo Muffy. Oh no. Yeah, nah.
So I think something I've taken away from this podcast tonight is if you look on the screen, we've got 5 big poly, and I see big as in musty because you see my guns. I see 5 big poly men, and we are not ashamed to share, our stories. So if that's not anything to take from the show, I don't know what is, because if you don't see it, that's the hardest thing. But if you hear it, it means a lot, and especially to hear it from T Raw and J Beats, their journey. So the journey that everyone takes is different. The journey that myself, Muffy, and Swanky we take as For the Boys podcast is different, and then to hear it from J Beats and T Raw, it's the living proof of people can talk, people can let out their feelings, and I'm so sorry that we can't share more than an hour or hour and a half or 2 hours. We'd love to, but the power that I use is on Glowbug, and Glowbug is
one of our sponsors.
Not only
It's,
that,
Wi-Fi.
that's your Wi-Fi.
and my Wi-Fi and my audio. So that's Glowbug, Wi-Fi, audio, everything's playing up. I want to give thanks to want to thank everyone that's jumped on board with us tonight. Not only us, 5 of us on this, also the chat. So, chat, thank you. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you, chat.
Yes, guys.
So, anything else you guys want to add before we end it or send
just
it
wanna-
on the 17th?
It's been a sicky show, but I need to drop the flyer again to remind the people. 17th of April,
Yeah,
$10
17 of April.
a ticket.
And please
Yo.
don't text us saying that you didn't get the ticket or invite because we've been posting it the whole 2 weeks now. All you'll get is the big eyeball scene.
So again, Outcast Party this month, 17th of April, $10 a ticket. We're at Republic Bar,
Public bar, manager.
Public bar.
as in we.
It's
Bring
gonna
your
be
real
a-
ID.
Yeah.
Bring your real ID.
Be a goodie. That is all.
Yes, so come through. We'll end it off with T-Roll. How would you go out with this T-Roll as the MC? How we can end this?
Yeah.
On
On the behalf of podcast.
But you know what it is? A massive shout out going out to Fortheboys podcast for having Outcast Entertainment on this platform. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Boys.